Water, essential to life and often taken for granted. Hello, my name is Wendy Cockshell. Please take a moment and ask yourself, will freshwater sources always be available on an isolated island like Oahu? Living on an island, our groundwater is our most valuable resource and also one of our most vulnerable. My topic for research is assessing the risk of contamination by saltwater in the Pearl Harbor aquifer. Hawaii's aquifers, accessed by wells, are at risk for contamination from a process called upconing. With a growing population, it is of critical importance to monitor and protect Hawaii's groundwater. So how does saltwater contamination happen? Freshwater floats on top of saltwater due to density differences. Saltwater upward migration towards the well, also known as saltwater upconing, can occur under excessive over-pumping of the wells, leading to deterioration in the quality of the water. A problem would occur when water salinity exceeds 250 milligrams per litre, making the water unfit for domestic use. Figure 1 shows a tank experiment displaying upconing. As pumping increases, salt water is drawn up and then into the well. This is upconing. The way to protect and maintain access to Hawaii's groundwater is to find a pumping rate for each well, Q, that is less than the pumping rate causing critical rise, QC. Groundwater in Hawaii is partly stored in a freshwater lens, fed by rain and water from a dike compartment. The Pearl Harbor basal aquifer is the largest freshwater source in Oahu, and therefore its wells will be the focus of this project. This graph shows chloride data from Heller's shaft in the Pearl Harbor aquifer. The upward trend of the green line is showing increasing salinity, a red flag for increased risk of saltwater contamination. Below this are two three-dimensional views of the Pearl Harbor aquifer from 1880 and 1980. The red is freshwater and the blue is saltwater. The first model shows a thin, blue, brackish water transition zone. What stands out about the second model is that the brackish water transition zone has moved up and thickened. At some points, the yellow brackish water has punctured through the red freshwater. Hawaii's freshwater lens is vulnerable. The method for this project will be to take available data from Pearl Harbor wells and use an analytical formula to assess upconing potential for each well. The analytical model does not take into account the brackish water interface. The results will be tested against present-day levels of well salinity to assess the importance of the brackish water transition zone. My hopes for the future are that the results of this research should help decide if an analytical model that does not take into account a brackish water transition zone is accurate enough to calculate and recommend pumping rates for the Pearl Harbor aquifer. Thank you.